What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Leprechaun 3. Alright, so you all already know St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner, so you know your boy has to knock out a couple St. Patrick's Day centric movies. Last year around this time I did Leprechaun 1 and 2, so this year I'm trying to knock out a couple more Leprechaun reviews. So Leprechaun 3 I have seen before. I've seen all these movies before. Here's the deal with me and this franchise, like my thoughts on this franchise. So, you know, a lot of people, hate on this franchise and think it's stupid and silly. Like it's kind of an easy target. Like this franchise, it's supposed to be silly. It's supposed to be fun and goofy and silly. It's like an outlandish premise. So, I feel like this franchise gets a lot of hate that's like unwarranted because the movies kind of know what they are, But here's the thing. With that being said, even though I think this franchise gets more hate than it deserves, me personally, I'm not a fan of a lot of these movies. There's a couple that I like, and there's like a lot of elements that I like from certain movies in this franchise. Like, some of like there's some fun moments in like Leprechaun in the Hood. Like there's some funny lines and stuff, and but there's probably only like 2 or 3 that I like, and they're not my favorite movies ever. But out of the entire franchise, I think Leprechaun 3 is the best one. And upon rewatch, I still think it's the best one, because here's the deal. Like a lot of the movies in this series, they're kind of boring, and a lot of them, like I believe the first 2 were in theaters, but the rest are direct to DVD. So they could be gory. They could like be released unrated. But like a lot of these movies, like there's not really that much gore. There's not, the kills aren't that crazy, and sometimes like they're not even as funny as I think they should be. But Leprechaun 3, my general consensus is I enjoy this movie. I think it's an entertaining movie. It's a fun movie, and it's still my favorite in the franchise. I think it's the best one. So before I get too far into the review, I'm going to give you all a little plot summary. So you got this kid, Scott. Actually, let me start a little bit earlier. So there's this statue of the Leprechaun that's sold to this pawn shop, and the Leprechaun is basically like resurrected. Like he's brought back to life from statue form into his animated self, and he's in Vegas now. You got this kid he's passing through. He's going to college, and there's this one girl who works at this, like, young woman who works at this casino. She sneaks this kid, Scott, in the casino. Her name's Tammy. So Tammy sneaks Scott in the casino. He gambles away all his tuition money, and he's down on his luck. Basically, the Leprechaun, his whole motive in this movie is he's like counting up his gold coins, and he's one short, so he's trying to find this gold coin. And Scott gets the gold coin eventually, and if you get the gold coin, you can get like a wish granted. So Scott like is in the vicinity of the gold coin, and he says like, I wish I was on a winning streak at the casino. He wins like $100K. All the different characters in this movie, they somehow get like close to the gold coin, or they obtain the gold coin, and they have some wish that comes true. Sometimes it's like too good to be true, and you know, it's like a genie wish. Like sometimes it ends up being like terrible. But anyways, all the characters, they're finding the gold coin, they're getting these wishes granted, and the leprechaun, he's trying to get his gold coin. Scott eventually starts turning into a leprechaun, so he's trying to find a cure, and they're also trying to defeat the leprechaun. So that is the basic plot summary. Jumping into some random stuff, it's pretty much all likes for this movie, because, you know, like I said, this is my favorite one. A lot of the other ones, not a big fan of, but Leprechaun 3, it's a fun time, you know. The first thing I want to talk about is I really like the setting, and I like how even if I don't like all these movies, I think it's a fun premise how pretty much every movie is set in a different location. You know, after the first movie, it's like pretty much everyone is set in a different location, except, you know, they went back to the hood a couple times, you know, because it's a great, you know, it's a great backdrop, it's a great setting. Actually, the Leprechaun in the Hood movies, last time I saw those, they were like not that good. I thought those ones were gonna be great, but they're kind of lame. But anyways, yeah, I think it's fun. Like, I don't know if another franchise does that, where they're just like, okay, every new installment we're gonna pick a new location, and we're just gonna like throw the killer in some new wacky setting. I mean, they did that like a couple times with Jason, but like this is like, in the Leprechaun franchise, it's like legit every movie. You got the second one's LA, this one's Vegas, the fourth one is in space, which is fun, and then they're in the hood a couple times, and yeah, that's pretty much it. They're like the other ones after that are like the reboot ones, so those are just set wherever. Who the F knows? I don't know. But anyways, I like that all these movies take place in a different setting. That's really fun. And the Vegas setting was a fun setting. You know, it kind of makes sense. You know, the leprechaun is supposed to be obsessed with gold. Vegas is all about gambling, money, and you got, you know, like different performers. You got like magicians, illusionists, and the leprechaun is like a magic entity. It just kind of worked. And the thing is, I was actually like pleasantly, like the first time I saw this movie, I was pleasantly surprised like how much you actually see of Vegas. You know, I was looking into it, and most of the movie was filmed in you know, California, but they did actually shoot on location in Vegas, but it was just for a day. So all these like little quick outdoor scenes are in Vegas. You know, most of it just took place in this casino, which was either a casino in California or just some sound stage in California. But all like the even if it's just B-roll, the B-roll of like the Las Vegas Strip was really cool. It was nice to see, and then it was really nice when like the leprechaun was actually walking through Vegas, like outdoors, and you see all like the neon signs and the bright lights, and it was just pretty darn cool. So for a low budget movie, I thought that, like, the Vegas, like, they actually, it seemed like they filmed quite a bit in Vegas, you know, because it's probably expensive to get filming permits and, you know, film on location like that. So I feel like there was like quite a bit of, you know, Vegas scenery, Vegas atmosphere, so that was cool. I believe I touched on this previously, but the kills in this are extremely creative. They're like wacky and weird, and every kill is pretty much different. And you know, out of the franchise, I think this one actually has the most gore. It's by no means like a super gory movie. It's still pretty tame than a lot of other slasher movies, but I feel like a lot of the other entries in this series, like most of the kills are just cutaway kills, which is a shame because, like I said, a lot of these are direct to DVD, so they could, they could release them unrated. They they probably were released unrated. Maybe they were released with a R rating. I don't know, but it's kind of a shame that like the kills are not better in this franchise, because when you're watching a movie like this, you're not watching for the story. It's like, I want some funny, wacky scenarios. I want some funny, like one-liners and rhymes, and I want some crazy, wacky kills, like, and some gory, bloody kills. That's what I want. So this one has the best like gore in the franchise, and the kills are super creative. Like this one gentleman gets killed, like electrocuted by some robot woman. That's random and crazy. Caroline Williams from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, she's in this movie, and she basically like explodes, and it's all practical. It looks pretty good. One gentleman gets like his eyeball ripped out, and you get to see it. That's pretty cool. And the leprechaun has a funny one-liner after that. I think he's like, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So yeah, he's got quite a few funny lines in this. And then my favorite kill is the magician, Fazio, I believe is his name. He gets like sawed in half, and you get to like see it, like all his kind of like tendons and intestines, and all that stuff is just like hanging out. And it's like a play on like the magician trick where they saw their assistant in half. So I think that's super creative. That's some good stuff. So yeah, out of the franchise, best kills in the franchise. Very serviceable kills, very creative. So that's what we need. That's what I'm talking about. And then my last point that I want to touch on is Warwick Davis. I think he killed it. Even though I don't like a lot of movies in this franchise, I think he always like brings his A game, and he is the character. It's like, it's kind of like how Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger, and if he's not playing Freddy Krueger, it's not the same. Like, Warwick Davis is the Leprechaun. He makes it fun, even if the movie around him is like kind of a boring movie. Like, he always does great in his role. Like, he's very, like, his physical comedy is good. He's very animated. The accent is on point. All his mannerisms are funny. He gets in all these like wacky situations and scenarios, and the one-liners and rhymes, like, that's I love that stuff. Like, if you all have seen my other reviews, I like, of course I like the strong silent slasher villains. Like, Michael Myers is like my all-time favorite slasher villain. Like, Halloween's like my favorite series. But like, when it comes to, I'm wearing the Nightmare on Elm Street sweatshirt right now. When it comes to my verbal slashers, like Freddy and Chucky, I like some fun one-liners. With Freddy, it's, I don't know. I do like the more of like the serious ones, like part like 2 and 3 I really like. I'm not the biggest fan of the first Nightmare on Elm Street, which might sound crazy, but like, I think it's good, but part like 2 and 3, those are my favorites. But like Nightmare on Elm Street 4 I like, and that's when kind of Freddy Krueger gets into like the more like goofy, cheesy territory, and I like that. I can kind of separate stuff though. Like, I can separate like the serious Freddy Krueger. I can appreciate the serious Freddy Krueger and the goofy Freddy Krueger. Like, that's how I am with like franchises. Like, I can separate stuff in my head. I know some people, like, if they see like a later entry in a franchise, it'll ruin the first movie for them. For me, like, that's never happened. Like, I could watch like Halloween 4, 5, and 6, but then when I watch Halloween 1, I'm not thinking like he's controlled by Thorn. I could enjoy part 4, 5, and 6, but then when I watch Halloween 1, I just look at it as its own thing. I look at it as like separate. I don't even think about the sequels when I when I watch Halloween 1. But yeah, that's how, I don't know. I'm getting off on a tangent, but that's kind of how like a lot of horror franchises are. Like I'm taking this from there's a Sleepaway Camp book, and the author describes the franchise as like a choose your own adventure novel because like there you could watch part 1 and part 4, that's its own story, or you could watch part 1, 2, and 3. Like a lot of franchises are like that where they're kind of like a choose your own adventure story. So yeah, but anyways, let me get back into the topic at hand. I'm just talking about random horror movies. We could go all day. I gotta talk about Leprechaun 3 here. So I don't know, I love Warwick Davis's performance. I love all the funny one-liners. I love, like I said, I like when verbal killers have the cheesy one-liners, like in Child's Play 3 when Chucky's like, "Don't fuck with the Chuck." Like I love that stuff. I don't know. It's just it's kind of a trope and it's kind of a joke. Like people who aren't into these type of movies are like, "Oh, that's silly, that's goofy," but like I don't know. It is goofy and silly, but it's like supposed to be. It's like fun. Like it's supposed to be cheesy, like the funny little one-liners and rhymes, but I don't know. There's just something about that when like a killer spouts these little cheesy one-liners, like these funny little silly rhymes. I dig it. I don't know. It's just like that's my shit. Like I'm a big fan. So once again, the Leprechaun has fantastic rhymes in this, super funny, and Warwick Davis killed it. I mean, this is his role. Like he goes hard, and that's pretty cool because like a lot of people, they'd be like, oh, like F this. They're just some direct to DVD Leprechaun movies, but like you can tell in all these movies, you can tell Warwick Davis. He had a lot of fun and he like took it seriously. He's like, even though it's like a silly role, like he gave it his all and he took it seriously. So that's beautiful. Like, I mean, he's the man for that. Shouts out Warwick Davis. He's been in a bunch of stuff. I think I don't know. I think he might have been in like the Harry Potters, and he's been in a ton of stuff. So there's this one movie I'm trying to check out with him in it. I think it's called Skinned Deep. I think I could be wrong, but that looks like a wacky movie. I think that's from the 90s. That junk looks cool. So maybe I'll drop a review to that eventually. Maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, I wanted to talk about Warwick Davis. I think he always kills it in these movies. So yeah, had to give him a little shout out. But anyways, that was my last point. So I'm gonna get into my recommendation, and then I'm gonna head out. So, like I said, out of the franchise, I still think this Leprechaun 3 is the best in the series. I honestly think you could just pretty much skip all the other ones and just watch 3 and you'd be good. So yeah, even though I do like a couple of the other ones, but yeah, Leprechaun 3, it's solid. It's it's a fun slasher movie, very funny. All the Leprechauns rhymes are hilarious. There's some funny situations and scenarios. I think the Vegas setting is awesome, and there's some beautiful Vegas scenery. And I think that did I mention the kills? Maybe I just did. I'm a little out of it today. I was sipping a couple drinks last night. It was, it's my day off today or whatever. But you gotta watch a couple of drinks if you're watching Leprechaun 3. It goes with the festive mood. But anyways, yeah, like the kills are on point. There's just a lot going for this movie. It's a fun time, and it totally knows what it is. Doesn't take itself seriously. It's a fun little funny slasher movie. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this if you're looking for something to watch around St. Patrick's Day. This is a solid choice. So yeah, definitely check it out. So yeah, that's my recommendation, and I'm done talking about Leprechaun 3 here. So I'm gonna head out. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.